I was at the one of the post summit events. I was speaking to one of my customers, the principal engineer of the organization, been there for a very long time, and he was telling me how he gets technology right quite a lot. Essentially, he's the CCOE. He is the center of excellence that talks about new technologies. We were having a little chat and a back and forth, and I realized I actually ended up making him question his entire reality, which wasn't my intention, but it ended up heading that direction because I asked him, how does he know he's right? And of course, he was like super confident that it was absolutely the right thing to do to choose a technology or process. And so I asked him a few questions back and forth, and he ended up doing that, staring into the middle distance and stroking his chin a bit, because I think he realized that you can't be objectively right. There is no objectively right. And so he's making technology decisions for his company. How is he checking that they're the right decisions? They might turn out to be good or bad in the long run, but right is probably the wrong term. And so when you've got engineers that have got some experience, certainly in a particular field, making sure that people are checking with other people, so asking other teams and asking for advice, making sure that your knowledge is grounded, that's super important. Otherwise, you end up in an echo chamber where you're making technology decisions. Yeah, famously, we've always done it this way. That's a big red flag in itself. And so catching those design decisions and those design choices for service adoption, etc., that for me is a common problem that I see, because everybody feels that they know how this stuff works. They end up not adopting things using the newer technology, maybe more upstack, more as a service kind of functions. And then they box themselves into a corner that ultimately, in many cases, the customer is never freed from that kind of that vice grip until that engineer leaves and they realize, hey, there's actually loads of what we've been burning extra cycles all of this time. We've been spending time keeping the lights on when we could have been actually focusing on features. Mere red flag is to make sure that doesn't matter what your experience is or what your knowledge is, try to check yourself and say, hey, you know what, is this actually a good idea? And the only way of really doing that is to ask other people and